Are you a big fat jerk? You might be if you're guilty of any of these 3 boondocking sins. So don't be a jerk and watch this video.
There ain't nobody gonna do it for you. Got to mind your own.
Hey everyone, I'm Carolyn. Welcome back to my life living in an RV. I'm in the 7th year of my RV life. I have boondocked in almost every state in dozens of national forests. I mean, I have literally been all over the place. And today I'm going to tell you the 3 biggest things I see jerky people do when they're boondocking in the forest. So don't be a jerk and make sure you don't do any of these 3 things. Before we get started, please do me a favor, check to make sure you're still subscribed to my channel, because yes, YouTube does unsubscribe people. And make sure you click that notification bell so you never miss a thing, and watch the video all the way through. That really helps my channel. All right, so what are the 3 jerkiest things that people do when they're boondocking? I'm going to count down to the biggest jerky thing, and let's get started.
Are you a jerk? Hi, good girl. Want a treat?
Okay, so number 3 on my list of jerky things people do when they're boondocking is parking too close. I have said this a million times. You've seen me in my videos. I will be 5 miles out of forest road, not another person in sight for miles, and somebody will come along and park right next to me. Here's a rule of thumb. If you go 5 miles out a dirt road and there are multiple spaces to camp along the way, and you find somebody out all by they're lonesome 5 miles out a road, that means they want to be alone and they don't want you parking next to them. So that's a really good rule of thumb. If you see somebody way off in the distance by themselves, it's because they don't want company. So don't park right next to them. What does right next to them mean? Well, I don't want to come out my door if I've taken the time to drive 5 or 10 miles out a crappy dirt forest road. I don't want to see anybody when I come out of my RV. I don't want to have to worry about making too much noise when I'm playing with Sadie in the morning, or what I'm wearing, or how I look. So basically, 100 yards at least minimum, I would say, is a good distance from parking, but even a quarter mile. I like a quarter mile. If I see somebody when I'm driving out a forest road, if I see somebody camped way out, I tell myself, okay, I need to go at least a quarter mile away to give them space and to give my space. Quarter mile is a good amount of space. And I remember the last time I did that, I ended up camping more than a half a mile away. I think it was 0.6. So give people room, give people space. And I hear this a lot every time I complain about it. Well, other people like safety in numbers. That's not my problem. I'm not here to make you feel safe. And I know that sounds a little harsh and a little mean, but it's true. If you go out into the woods to boondock and you need company to feel safe, don't infringe on someone else's privacy to get that. Stay in an RV park or an LTVA, a long-term visitor area. So jerky thing number 2 that people do when they're boondocking, and make sure you stick around to jerky thing number 1 because it's pretty disgusting and it's going to gross you out. But jerky thing number 2 is leaving garbage behind. I can't tell you how much garbage I and other boondockers see every time we go into the forest. Don't leave your food scraps behind. Don't leave your cans behind. Don't leave your water bottles behind. Don't leave your tarps and your tents. I see tents a lot. I guess it rains and people don't want to pack them up, so they leave them behind. Who do you think is going to clean this stuff up? Don't be a jerk and don't leave your garbage behind. The more garbage you leave behind, the more people have to clean that up, resources have to be spent, and the more public lands are going to be closed down to everyone being able to use. So don't be a selfish jerk and take your garbage with you.
What is it? You tasting Jimbo?
So I have an extra jerky thing that people do that I forgot about that I'm going to throw in here. So the bonus jerky thing that people do is they overstay their welcome. They don't follow the rules. Most national forests have a 2-week rule. You are not allowed to camp in one place, oftentimes one forest or one district, for more than 2 weeks. If you overstay your welcome, if you break the rules, you're ruining it for everybody. More and more forests are getting closed down, more areas are getting closed down for everything from overstaying welcome to trampling on fragile vegetation to leaving garbage behind. Every time you break a rule, you're ruining it for everybody, including yourself. You know, a lot of people like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna leave my garbage behind, and so what? I mean, talk about a jerky thing to do, breaking all the rules and ruining it for everybody else, okay? So don't overstay your welcome, clean up your garbage, and don't trample on vegetation so that you don't ruin it for everybody else. And hey, trolls, you know what? Most national forests don't have leash laws.
Are you chasing Chipmunk? Come on.
All right, and finally, the number one, the single biggest, most disgusting, jerky thing people can do. Before I say it, make sure you give me a thumbs up and check your subscription and subscribe to my channel. The biggest jerky thing is literally shitting in the woods. I'm not talking about doing it right, digging a cat hole, burying it, going deep in the woods. I was recently at a spot in Colorado. There was a campsite a quarter mile up the road. It was empty when I got there. A guy came in a car, spent the night. Sadie and I went and looked at the campsite, you know, just in our morning walk, making our morning rounds, because I do like to see what people do, what people leave behind. This guy literally shit behind a tree on top of the dirt and left his pile of shit and his toilet paper there. No kidding. And you would think that that is rare. I see it all the time. What is wrong with jerky people needing to leave their shit out in the open? It was not a developed campsite, but it had a fire ring. It had flat spots to camp. In fact, somebody came in within 2 days and camped there, and they were greeted with somebody else's shit. I don't understand jerky people who feel they can just shit everywhere and leave it for other people to see. What is wrong with jerky people? It's disgusting. If you have to shit in the woods, go way out in the woods. I mean, 100 feet, 50 feet. But get off a trail, go where people aren't going to walk, dig a cat hole, and take your toilet paper with you. Because animals will dig up your toilet paper and it'll be scattered around the woods. And it's disgusting. I don't go in the woods to see your shitty toilet paper. Take your toilet paper with you or burn it. But don't be a jerk. Don't leave your shit. I don't want to walk in your toilet. So those are the 4 jerkiest things. I was going to say shittiest, but they're pretty shitty too. But those are the 4 jerkiest things that I see people do when they're boondocking in the forest. So don't be a jerk and don't do those things. What are some jerky things you think people do when they're boondocking that I didn't cover? Leave it below, #jerky. Leave your comment below and let me know some of the most disgusting jerky things you have experienced or witnessed in your boondocking or camping life. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you next time. In the meantime, be happy, be free, and don't be a jerk!